think too much emphasis with an orthodox southpaw is put on getting that foot on the outside. You can, great, but you can't always do that.
I do agree, and people say the left hook to the body to a southpaw is a difficult shot to get off. I never found that. I used to like fighting southpaws, and I would never personally think about this. I mean, yeah, you would cut someone off this way. But what you can also do is loop it round.
You can
comes
bring
from
it
that
round,
wider angle.
I think we've got a lad here, Gavin Croft. He's very good with southpaws because he grew up alongside his twin brother Yohan, who's a southpaw, and he's the same. But he'll find that left hook an awful lot. But I think what happens is, if you turn southpaw now, people just think, oh, we'll find the left hook, and they're used to throwing it going underneath the back elbow. They'll end up going around the back. They'll end up going around the back a little bit. So you've just got to shorten it that little bit, I think, against the southpaw. So I don't believe that when people say, oh, it does work because the shot's there, that you're a little bit nearer, so it's a little bit closer to you. You've just got to shorten the shot.
One of the things I found as well with southpaws, if you go into the southpaw stance, it's just a little setup. So the thing is, you do have to get your foot in the right position, because if you try and throw it from here, you're going to reach.
Oh, of course,
You've got to disguise it. So a little boom.
There it is,
Drive it in that short shot,
yeah,
like
the shot, sometimes they'll say a throwaway shot. Like, do you know what I mean? Sometimes you might be touching with the shot, you're thinking, that's my shot, the left hook to the body, but I'm going to use the right hand. So if you, straight away, if you go with the right hand, this, like anything, the elbow's going to come up that little bit, isn't it? You're going to find the gap, and then you're going to sink the left in.
It's just a quick one in. Yeah. But one of the shots that you secured some pretty good finishes with were the body shots.
Yeah.
So talk me through those body shots. We've gone through that before, but let's go through it again. How you set those shots up.
Yeah, it's been varied. And even from as a young kid, I remember to see Ricky Hatton at amateur shows, and I probably burned his head out, thankfully, I can't remember. But I'd ask him, oh, Ricky, and I always remember him saying, and you've got to set the shot up. I mean, listen, with any body shot, you load it up, with any shot, but certain to the body, they're going to see it, they're going to be able to sense, they're going to be able to catch it. But I think it's setting the shot up. And sometimes you might be in close, and sometimes you might touch, whack. I remember when I won my world title, I think that's what it was coming in. We backed up onto the ropes, and it was there, we backed up onto the ropes, and I come up, and I touch, that elbow come up, dropped toe off, bang, and it was just a placement. It wasn't the hardest body shot I've ever threw. It was one of the best, but it was more the placement, and I think that's what fighters do. Good body punches, like you say, when Golovkin against Matthew Macklin, I remember him just touching up and then coming round, it just took the wind out of Macklin's sails. It was a brutal shot, but I think that's it. But even from either side as well, I think, you know, a lot of times you'll see it was the right hook, and it skimmed across there. So what it was, I think he'd come under and he threw, I think he threw, I can't think, the right hook, and I'd come through, and as he's come through, I've come through, and it's come right across his body.
Where he's not tense.
And he's not tense. I think even sometimes, I remember an old opponent, John Murray, he was very good at it, and Liam Smith, if you ever watch him, and the one with a body shot. It might not be the body shot that as you're rolling over, but it's a horrible shot. So it'll be up close, you're exchanging, you're going around. Then now and again, Dan, you just shoot it down. You just shoot it down. I know I only touched them, but you're probably thinking, that's not a nice one. It's just touch, it's just stab. You just shoot it down, and it's a horrid shot to take, because what it does, it's like, oh, you're gasping just for a little bit of breath. It's not one of those shots where you'd roll off just off that, but then if they come with shots after it, you're under pressure while trying to catch your breath.
And it's accumulative.
Takes the legs away, exactly that. It takes the legs away, just chipping away. They'd be there, and it was chipping. Yeah, there it is. No, but that's it. That's it. No, but it is. It's just, you know what it is, Dan? If you're just there with me, there, and you just shoot it down, that's it. You know, it's not even, sometimes you don't even got to bend the knee, it's just that.
That was a good, Mayweather used to do that shot.
His stab was so good, he'd be there, and he'd touch, and he'd stab. Mayweather was so good, and he'd commit with it. So if you was Mayweather there, he'd touch with the head, and then he'd step in with that. That was it. He'd touch it, boom.
Really effective.
And it takes the legs out. You'd see him a lot in a lot of Floyd's fights early on. You really start with that, You
know what, the body shot, I mean, body shots are my favourite shots, and when you were saying this stuff to me, it's giving me memories of my career. One of the fights that you commentated on, Mona, when I fought Isaacs, he was relentless, he was strong, and I had to move. And I could make the headshots miss on the most part. But he would just go low and just stab it in.
He'd stab it in downstairs.
And
that's it. So if you're there, you're on the back foot, you're coming forward, and that gets stabbed into the gut. It doesn't matter. Sooner or later, you're going to think, that's going to take my legs away a little bit. But
he neglected that. And I said to him after, I mean, there were talks of a rematch, so I probably shouldn't have stitched myself up. But I said to him after, you shouldn't have stopped throwing that shot.
Downstairs.
What I would do is if he threw it, I would go, boom. But when you're against the ropes, it's so hard to defend.
You can't. You can't go anywhere unless, like you say, it's literally unless you sort of go across. It's a very hard shot to defend against.
Very hard.
Exactly what I was just saying there, where sometimes if you just drop it down, it's not a nice shot.
And that Golovkin-Macklin shot, I love that shot so much. Like you say, I mean, I tried to mimic that and it worked pretty well. But when you let that shot go, you don't even feel it.
No, it's up and then round, and it's like I remember watching it, and I felt winded watching it. I'm crazy. It was one of the great body shots I think in recent times. You know, when you think of one that really sticks out. But I think with body shots as well, and I was going to go back to Ricky. So if you're up against the ropes, Ricky would sometimes his feet would play a big part, and it'd be touch. He'd come round the side, then he'd come up the middle, wouldn't he?
Yeah,
he'd come up the middle.
Yeah.
He'd come up the middle, or he'd touch him this way, whack.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Sometimes he'd move with the shot. He'd move with the shot before, whack, or he'd touch, whack.
And and what? So if I put you there.
Yeah.
Getting back now, all the hits. If I put you there, what Ricky would do so well.
Yeah.
And this is what I find a lot of people struggle with. So some fighters will do that and go. And they try it all at the same time. But he would
try and rush it.
Yeah,
his feet was brilliant.
It's like 3 different movements.
Yeah.
The step, pivot,
whack,
drive through.
That's it. And because his balance was so good with that, where his feet was in the right place, there'd be much behind the shot. He wouldn't load up with it, but there'd be a lot of power behind it because his power was so good. Like you just said, if you do that again, look, so 1, 2, 3, yeah. There, he's rotating, coming back through.
And I think, I was talking to Fraser Clark about this the other day with rhythm, and because it's a 1, 2, 3, you think it's speed that's going to land this shot.
Yeah.
But from either side, and again, Lomachenko was the master of it. He would do it at such a high speed, you wouldn't notice he's doing 3 things.
Yeah.
It's all like one. But you've got to get your feet in position.
Totally.
It's no good just doing this.
And then throwing it. No, because then it's there, and then you naturally, if you're dipped over, then there's only one way to go, and that way is to go with the weight.
Yeah.
When you're going to rotate, bang, it's there.